European Union interior ministers have agreed to tighten the bloc's asylum policies. The decision comes after what was seen as a make or break meeting for the bloc to solve its migration policy conundrum. For years, EU members have been at odds over how to manage migration, with southern countries demanding more support and solidarity from their eastern and northern neighbors.
The European Union's immigration crisis has been a contentious and challenging issue for many years, characterized by waves of migrants seeking refuge from war, persecution, and economic hardship. This crisis has tested the limits of the EU's solidarity, resources, and political will. However, recent developments suggest that the EU may have found a viable solution to this ongoing dilemma. The resolution of the immigration crisis is a significant milestone, not only for Europe but also as a model for global immigration policies.
Lawmakers in Brussels today agreed on far-reaching reforms to the European Union's immigration and asylum policies. The European Parliament approved what is being billed as a fairer system of settling new immigrants across all 27 member states of the EU. The changes will bring in tougher border checks and force all EU members to share responsibility for immigration. The agreement follows nearly a decade of political wrangling.
Here's a detailed look at how the EU managed to address and potentially resolve this complex issue. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. The first step in addressing the crisis was a fundamental overhaul of the EU's asylum system.
The European Union has been working to make SIAS work better for member states and asylum seekers. The new Pact on Migration and Asylum proposes several new instruments to improve the asylum system based on solidarity and fair sharing of responsibility.
For years, the Dublin Regulation, which required asylum seekers to apply for asylum in the first EU country they entered, placed disproportionate pressure on border countries like Greece, Italy, and Spain. Recognizing the inequity and inefficacy of this system, the EU introduced a new mechanism for asylum distribution. This mechanism is based on a quota system that allocates asylum seekers more evenly across all member states.
Migrants arriving on the Italian island of Lampedusa, one of the front lines in Europe's struggle to control migration. Last year, more than 1.1 million people filed asylum claims in the EU, the highest number since 2016. Italy has been one of the countries pressing for an overhaul of immigration policies to help share the burden.
Considering each country's capacity, population size, and economic strength, by distributing the responsibility more fairly, the EU has eased the burden on frontline states and promoted a sense of shared responsibility among all member countries. Integral to this new approach is the establishment of centralized processing centers in countries with high inflows of migrants. These centers are equipped with resources to process asylum applications quickly and fairly.
Rights activists say the EU asylum reforms will lower protections, while far-right parties say they don't go far enough. One centrist lawmaker from France called the pact a balanced improvement of the system that's currently in place,
ensuring that those who qualify for protection receive it promptly, while those who do not are returned to their countries of origin efficiently. These centers are staffed with EU officials and supported by international organizations like the UNHCR, ensuring that the processing of applications adheres to international human rights standards. This system has significantly reduced the backlog of asylum applications and improved the overall efficiency and fairness of the process. Another critical aspect of the EU's solution has been enhancing border security while respecting human rights.
Frontex is the watchdog that monitors all the external borders of the EU and the Schengen area, managing migration and fighting cross-border crime. This European Border and Coast Guard agency surveys 42,000 kilometres of coastline and almost 9,000 kilometres of land borders, collecting data on illegal migration networks, which allows EU member states to track and dismantle them.
The European Border and Coast Guard Agency, Frontex, has been strengthened and given a more robust mandate to operate effectively. Frontex now works closely with national border agencies to monitor and manage external borders, prevent illegal crossings, and combat human trafficking. The agency has also been equipped with advanced technology, such as drones and surveillance systems, to monitor border regions more effectively.
Countries faced with heavy migration pressure to identify and register arriving migrants. It also coordinates operations to return illegal migrants to their countries of origin.
At the same time, the EU has committed to ensuring that all border operations are conducted in full compliance with human rights standards, avoiding the inhumane treatment of migrants. The EU has also placed a strong emphasis on addressing the root causes of migration, recognizing that migration often stems from conflict, persecution, and economic hardship.
Well, recent shipwrecks of migrant boats off the coast of Greece and Spain's Canary Islands means pressure is mounting to prevent further loss of life. But as DW's Jack Parrick reports, Europe's a long way from finding common ground on how to tackle the problem.
Hundreds of people have already drowned this year as smugglers' boats go down in the Mediterranean Sea. It's raising questions of whether EU policies are to blame. So what are they? Currently, a person seeking asylum in the European Union must apply to the first EU country they arrive in.
The EU has significantly increased its foreign aid and development assistance to countries in Africa and the Middle East. This aid focuses on fostering economic development, improving governance, and supporting conflict resolution initiatives. By helping to stabilize these regions and create economic opportunities, the EU aims to reduce the push factors driving people to leave their homes in the first place. Furthermore, the EU has established comprehensive partnerships with key transit countries like Turkey, Libya, and Morocco. These partnerships involve providing financial assistance, development aid, and technical support to help these countries manage migration flows more effectively. In return, these countries have agreed to strengthen their border controls and take back migrants who do not qualify for asylum in Europe. These agreements have been instrumental in reducing the number of migrants attempting dangerous journeys across the Mediterranean and through other perilous routes.
But migrant support organisations say it encourages countries like Greece to prevent anyone from arriving in Europe, pushing people back to where they came from, which is illegal under international law. Greece says it's protecting the EU's borders. The EU's border guard Frontex ended its own search and rescue missions in the Mediterranean, called Operation Sophia, in 2020, and now only patrols to enforce borders. It was accused of failing to step in and save lives during the recent shipwreck near Pylos in Greece.
In addition to these measures, the EU has made significant efforts to improve the integration of migrants and refugees into European society. Recognizing that successful integration is crucial for social cohesion and economic prosperity, the EU has implemented various programs to support language learning, vocational training, and employment opportunities for newcomers. These programs are designed to help migrants and refugees become self-sufficient and contribute to their host communities. By facilitating integration, the EU aims to reduce social tensions and foster a more inclusive society. Public perception and political support have also been critical to the success of the EU's new immigration policies. The EU has launched extensive public awareness campaigns to inform citizens about the benefits of migration and the importance of solidarity in addressing the crisis. These campaigns highlight positive stories of integration.
This has been one of the most grueling, complex, difficult, divisive pieces of legislation in the European Union, especially for the last decade. And a lot of the MEPs here in Brussels, in the European Union, have been very, very conflicted about trying to get this over the line. Many of them voted against certain aspects of the pact, but have approved other aspects. And overall, all of the different elements of this package got enough votes, were approved, meaning the overarching thing is approved. And that will be a relief for many of the people that have been heavily involved in the negotiations on this migration and asylum pact, because they were all interdependent. If one aspect were to have failed, the whole thing wouldn't have worked.
And the contributions of migrants to European society. By promoting a more balanced and informed public discourse, the EU has managed to garner broader political and public support for its new policies. The EU has also worked to streamline legal migration pathways to offer more controlled and manageable options for those seeking to enter Europe. By expanding visa programs for students, skilled workers, and family reunification, the EU provides legal and safer alternatives to irregular migration. This approach helps to regulate the flow of migrants and reduces the reliance on dangerous and illegal routes. technology has played a vital role in the EU's strategy to resolve the immigration crisis. The use of advanced data analytics and biometric systems has improved the accuracy and efficiency of tracking and managing migration flows. The EU has implemented an integrated border management system that allows for real-time sharing of information between member states, enhancing cooperation and coordination. This technological integration ensures that the EU can respond swiftly and effectively to emerging migration trends and challenges. Despite these significant advancements, the EU's approach has not been without its critics.
What's your reaction to the Migration and Asylum Pact passing?
I'm extremely proud. This is a historical decision, it's a historical moment. When I took office 4.5 years ago, very few thought that we could make it to actually have both Parliament and the Member States to agree on a new, comprehensive and solid migration and asylum policy.
What do you think that this is going to mean? It's going to be 2 years before this pact actually gets into effect, though. Do you think that it will change the philosophy of the member states to support the countries in the south that are dealing with the highest numbers?
Some human rights organizations have raised concerns about the treatment of migrants in transit countries and the conditions in processing centers. The EU has responded by increasing its oversight and accountability mechanisms, ensuring that all measures are in line with international human rights standards. Regular audits and inspections are conducted to address any issues promptly and uphold the dignity and rights of all migrants. The role of civil society and non-governmental organizations, NGOs, has been crucial in supporting the EU's efforts. NGOs have provided essential services such as legal assistance, medical care, and social support to migrants and refugees. The EU has fostered strong partnerships with these organizations, recognizing their expertise and grassroots connections. This collaboration has enhanced the overall effectiveness and humanitarian nature of the EU's immigration policies. The economic impact of the EU's new immigration strategy has been another area of focus. By promoting the integration of migrants and refugees into the labor market, the EU aims to harness their potential as contributors to economic growth.
Yes, so this, one of the main pride for the European Commission and for the Council was to say we've agreed on this mandatory solidarity that indeed can be relocation of asylum seekers or financial contribution. And we're seeing how this is such a fragile agreement, given that countries like Poland, but others have also already stated that they were not interested in relocation.
Various studies have shown that migrants can fill labor shortages, contribute to innovation, and support the sustainability of social welfare systems. The EU's policies are designed to maximize these economic benefits while addressing any challenges related to integration and social cohesion. Educational opportunities for migrant children and youth have also been prioritized. The EU has implemented policies to ensure that migrant children have access to quality education, regardless of their legal status. This includes language support programs, scholarships, and integration into local schools. By investing in the education of migrant children, the EU is fostering a generation that can fully integrate and contribute to European society in the future. Moreover, the EU has recognized the importance of higher education and has facilitated access to universities and vocational schools for young migrants, thereby unlocking their potential and promoting upward social mobility. Another critical aspect of the EU's immigration strategy is the focus on family reunification. Recognizing the importance of family support in the integration process, the EU has streamlined the procedures for family reunification, making it easier for migrants to bring their immediate family members to Europe. This policy not only helps in the emotional and social stability of migrants, but also enhances their overall integration into society. Family reunification policies are complemented by support services that assist families in settling and adapting to their new environment, further strengthening the social fabric. The EU's strategy has also placed a strong emphasis on combating xenophobia and discrimination. Public campaigns and educational programs have been launched to promote tolerance, diversity, and the benefits of multiculturalism. By addressing negative stereotypes and fostering a culture of inclusion, the EU aims to create a more welcoming and cohesive society. These efforts are supported by legal frameworks that protect the rights of migrants and ensure equal treatment under the law. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, do you think the EU's solution to the immigration crisis will work? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.